Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. In our fast paced world of today, we are constantly bombarded with information, distractions, and opportunities. It can be very easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of life and lose sight of what truly matters. However, here is an opportunity to be a rising star, to learn, rise, and shine, inshallah. Today, let's take a pause and ask ourselves, do I want to enrich myself? Do I want to get more from life? Then this action based series is for you. And today the topic is to focus fully. What does that mean? Just like I say to my students, I need your whole body attention with a caring heart. I will remind you how important it is to be fully present mentally, physically, and spiritually to reap full benefits. So go ahead and type yes, that I am ready to focus fully. Many times we demand this from others, but today we will see how can we optimize our life by equipping ourselves the skills to stay focused. نحمد ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير. Alhamdulillah, there are many words you can use for that, like complete concentration, total attention. Have you ever seen a laser work? It's able to do wonders with a focused stream of action. So check yourself. Am I ready to give undivided attention? Do I have an intense laser-like focus right now? Do I have at this time, I'm putting everything behind me and I am ready to have a single-minded, immersion experience so that I am going to walk away with beautiful rewards, and nothing is more rewarding to be feeling enriched and with a purpose. So with that, inshallah, let us reminding ourselves that we need to be steady, we need to be clear, we need to be pure, dedicated, and with full attention, let us move forward and delve in as to what is focus. What is the meaning when we say focus? What does it really means? Many people, when they start crossing their 40s, their visions start to act up on them. Now it's a time to have, two different glasses, one for long vision and one for shorter vision. And focus is something which is pretty much everyone wishes they had more of, but most of us struggle with it on a daily basis. Whether we are trying to concentrate on a task at home, at work, or block out the distractions of the modern world, or even just stay committed to our long-term goals. Like, for example, you committed to some exercise. So you can do it on day 1, day 2, but on day 3, keeping that focus to keep going, sometimes it can be very hard. So this is true that attention has become a wild and seemingly untamable beast. But research has shown that people who can focus for sustained periods of time regularly perform better on all sorts of cognitive challenges. And whereas constantly giving into distraction leads to decrease in creativity and poor decision making. Okay, so the problem isn't just that we are distracted, but also that very few people really practice how to focus. Imagine the number of even the Muslims in the entire world, but how many take time to go make their wudu? How many take time to remember that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that afdalul amal is as-salatu ala waqtiha, and they go and pray on time. And even when they pray, how many pray in the right way? Like in the sujood, their eyes are wide open. That is like focused on the ground at the sajada place, at the sujood place, and they have like total zone out of all the distractions. There is an author of a book, the book name is Hack Your Brain. He writes in the Fast Company that focus is a muscle and you can build it. Yes, I'm talking about you, right? Many of us think, oh no, this is not for me. So yes, focus is a muscle and you can build it. Too many people labor under the idea that they are just not focused, and this becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Once you drop this mistaken belief, you can take a much more realistic approach to building focus. So how many of us would like to see the world with a clear vision, whether we wear the glasses or not, whether we need contacts or something or not, but our vision is clear that we are able to focus. For example, at the network, our focus is to work with pals like you to spread education around the globe. So no matter what season of the year it is, no matter what month it is, some people think, oh, it's summer vacation, how can we be working? Some people think, oh, it's winter, or it's Thanksgiving break, or it's this break or that break. But a believer has a defined focus that yes, time is ticking and I need to make the most of my time. So the question is, if you are ready to be a rising star, and if you are ready to get more from life, so the question is that will you take action to build focus in your life? I would let anybody answer. Would you like to add focus in your life? Yes or no? So would you like to have focus? Would you like to see life in a more clearer vision? You can even unmute and you can even write it. And if you find yourself even distracted right now at this time, tell yourself there's some, polite words you can add to your dictionary. And you can say to yourself, may I have your full attention, please? When a family convenes after a day's worth of work, there is so much to discuss. But if you have a vision, you can use words like, let's keep our attention on this. You can ask a child, could you please focus? You can have a whole congregation in front of you and you can say, let's stay focused, please. You can have big world celebrities or big politicians convene together on an agenda and can completely lose track of what they were there for. So you can ask and remind, please concentrate on the task. So there are many words you can use to help regain focus. You can say, I'd appreciate your focus on this matter. And, even if you are running a whole team, you can say, let's direct our attention to this. So, if a drop keeps dropping from a faucet, it has the capability of creating a hole in the stone. In the book Alchemist, it reminds you that when you focus on your goals, the universe conspires to have you achieve them. So inshallah, let us try to focus so that we can get more from our life. And right now, ask ourselves, what is the purpose of my creation? What should I be focusing on? If I've been told to be a rising star, why do I need to be a rising star, right? So you can benefit from this whole series that we have done on why you need to be a rising star, because when the why is clear, then the how becomes really easy. When you know that, oh, you know what, there are some guests coming over. I have 3 hours. They're going to be here. You see how quickly your house transforms into a retreat area. Everything goes back in the right place. The food gets cooked. The kids get, clothed up in their best attire, and everything seems to happen in so quickly. So it's not about time management, it's about energy management as well. And energy, it's really interesting how, where your focus is, that's where your energy flows. So inshallah, know yourself to enrich yourself and ask yourself, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to ask, if you want to write, what is your focal point for today? What would it be? If you want to write, what is your focus for this week? If it's just survival, if you're just living life in a survival mode, that, okay, eat, drink, and be merry, just making sure that, oh, you know what, I just survived that day, that's a different, way of living life. But if you want to achieve something, if you want to grab something, then you need to ask yourself, what is going to be my focus? What is going to be my priorities for today? What is going to be my priority for this week? What is going to be my priority for this month? So that will help you identify, and, put all your energies towards one single area, inshallah. And today in our session of Focus Fully, we will be taking help from the Quran and Sunnah. And it's really amazing what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has, He has not let us it's really amazing how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not let us, be alone with our own thought process and things. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us complete guidelines. And that's why when we even make dua for hidayah, when we even ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us on the straight path, He gives us the answer starting in Surah Baqarah, telling us that this is the book, La rayba fi, clarity. There is no doubt in it, so that you can be fully focused. There is no other, there is no, ambiguations in there. So let's go ahead and focus fully on that. So I'm going to share with you one hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, and I really would like your full attention on these golden words of wisdom. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من حسن الإسلام من حسن الإسلام المرء تركه ما لا يعنيه. Abu Huraira radiallahu anhu narrated that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, indeed, among the excellence of a person's Islam is that he leaves what does not concern him. So I want you to focus on this, that we are encouraged to focus on actions and behaviors that are beneficial to us and our society. Rasulullah sallallahu emphasized this in this hadith, that the excellence of an individual's Islam, that he leaves la yani those things which do not benefit him. So this hadith from Tirmidhi highlights the importance of prioritizing and focusing on actions that are beneficial to our personal and professional lives. So I want you to think about your day. I want you to think about your week. I want you to think about the months which have passed by. What has taken your energy? What was your vision and how much was it accomplished? How much you got distracted with ma la yani? Right? So subhanallah, in a world of today, we have so much technology. Sitting here, right here, I can see what's happening in Timbuktu. Sitting right here, I can see what's happening in Gaza on the streets of Rafah. Sitting right here, I can set the temperature of my basement to a certain level. Sitting right here, I can turn my car on and turn into my desired temperature. So many things. I can start mopping the floor of my kitchen with a click of a second. So there's so much happening around us. There's so much access to technology and things, but the question is, how is this benefiting me? How is this bringing me to closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How is it making me more peaceful? Islam literally means peace, and peace starts with me. So from the beauty of this religion is that a person leaves that does not concern him, right? So I want you to identify that list of what is something that consumes so much of your energy but wasn't worth it. It wasn't even your cup of tea. If me and you sit here and talk about the world policy for hours and we are not in any position to apply it, will that be of any help? You can say, yes, we are doing our part, but cursing the darkness, it's not going to be the solution. So it's better to get up and light up a candle rather than keep cursing the darkness. It's better to do your work, what you got to do, rather than sitting there and having, long speeches about something that is not going to get accomplished. So inshallah, let's kind of look in the light of these words of wisdom and identify first that, do I want to live Islam in an excellent way? Do I want to be a marvelous Muslim? Do I want to have a manifesto? You can benefit from the marvelous Muslimah manifesto as well that we did, and that comes with a very clear vision. And here the keywords for today will be ma la yani. From now onwards, anything and everything that comes your way, that text, that tweet, that upload, that Snapchat, anything that's coming your way, right? Even the doorbell, even the sounds around us, you have to ask yourself, is it really concerning me? Is it something, that I have to pay attention to? And then you move forward with that, inshallah. All right. So I'm going to share with you one of the tools to help us as we go in this process. And that is when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you see his interaction with Mu'adh ibn Jabal. Now, dua is a weapon of a believer. Dua is, is ibadah. So inshallah, as you walk in this journey, and sometimes you might be saying to yourself, oh no, it's not that easy as it may seem. You have no idea what I do in my day. You have no idea how many people rely on me, how much I have to do. I have little ones, I have older ones, I have my parents, I have my job, I have my career, I have my house, I have my bills, I have my car, everything I have to do. How can I be focused on my goal? I have seen so many people, like, you meet them after years and they're still standing at the same place, their goals at the same place, and they're like, oh, I wish if I had time I could, study the Quran or something. So it's time to focus and look at this hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, through which we are getting a beautiful dua, a beautiful weapon to have and to help us dream it, dua it, and do it for a focused life, to live a life which is Hanif, focused, like Ibrahim alayhi salam. So what is happening here? عن معاذ بن جبل رضي الله عنه قال أخذ بيد النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. Mu'adh bin Jabal anhu said that Rasulullah took me by his hand. فقال يا معاذ قلت لبيك. So Rasulullah called him and he said, لبيك, I am here. I love you, I am here. قال إني أحبك, I love you. قلت وأنا والله أحبك. So Rasulullah says, it's a beautiful dialogue. And قال ألا أعلمك كلمات تقولها في دبر كل صلاتك. قلت نعم. قال قل اللهم أعني على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. What's happening? Mu'adh ibn Jabal anhu said, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam took my hand and they said, Mu'adh, he said, at your service. He said, I love you. He replied, and by Allah, I love you, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu. He said, shall I teach you some words to stay at the end of your prayer, your salah? Yes, Naam, he replied. And then Rasulullah taught him these beautiful words, which mean that, oh Allah, help me to remember you and thank you, and help me to the best manner of worshipping you. Let's say it one more time. Or if anybody wants to come on the mic and say it, that'd be amazing. These powerful words that we will hold on fast as we journey through the efforts to be focused fully. Anybody would like to say them?
Yeah, I would like to read it, Javeri.
Okay.
Allahumma a'inni ala dhikrika wa shukrika wa husni ibadatik.
Allahumma ameen, Allahumma ameen, Allahumma ameen. So keeping this dua as, with us as we journey through this session, we will keep asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, Allah, we want your help to focus, that no matter what we are doing, we are surrounded with your blessings. No matter what we are doing, what we are saying, and what our day looks like, Allah, help us to remember you and thank you, and help us to be at worship, at service to you in the best of manners. So let's move forward and let's see that how can we fully focus. So we will have 5-point takeaway for ourselves if you want to make a list, and later you can definitely share with others also what benefited you, and help others live a fully focused life. Now, in our personal life, this hadith encourages us to reflect on our habits and behaviors, and to let go of anything that does not bring us closer to Allah or contribute to our personal growth. In a world full of distractions, it can be very challenging to prioritize our time and focus on what truly matters. So one way to apply this hadith of tarkahu ma la ya'ni is to simplify our routines and minimize our exposure to la ya'ni activities. For example, and you can share some from your side, excessive use of social media can be a significant source of distraction and time wasting. So we have to let go of things which are not any value addition except, for some temporary pleasure. Limiting our social media usage to a specific time of the day, or setting a time limit for each session, can help us be more mindful of how we use our time. Similarly, you can unfollow accounts that do not add any value to your life, or, sometimes lead us astray from our values and goals. So it can help us focus on what truly matters. Now, it's really important to prioritize and simplify our personal lives, and this can we achieve through self-care activities that enhance our well-being and bring us closer to Allah. So engaging in regular physical exercise, spending time in nature, reading beneficial books, or attending weekly congregations, they all enhance our mental and physical health and draw us closer to Allah. But how will we do that if we are holding on to everything else, which is not even helping us? So it's time to let it go. It's time to get out of the analysis paralysis mode. It's important to reflect on our relationships and associations and eliminate those that do not bring any benefit or lead us away from our values and goals. I was listening to somebody very successful, one person, and she said, like, somebody started to appreciate her. She's like, oh, it's how amazing that you do this and you do that. And she's like, you've not even met me more than 2 times. How can you say this about me? It feels like as if ants are crawling over me when you praise me. Subhanallah. So even unnecessary praise can be very toxic. And unhealthy friendships, toxic relationships, or negative influences can hinder our personal growth and well-being. So prioritizing positive relationships and associations can help us surround ourselves with people who support and encourage us to become our best selves, who help us focus on the task. And against all those words that we have shared earlier, you can use them for yourself, because we sometimes are the biggest enemy of our own self. So sometimes you just have to remind your own self, looking at the mirror, you can tell them that Allahumma kama hasanta khalqi fahassin khuluqi, and remind yourself that, may I have your attention please today on this particular task at hand, and then let go of anything else that is coming in the way. Now, the impact of layani on our professional life is tremendous as well. So how do we avoid distractions and focus on what matters? So what do? Like, their emails, their meetings, their tasks that may not be essential to our job or aligned with our values and goals. This can lead, looking at all of them can lead to a feeling of overwhelm and a lack of productivity. If you go even in your mailbox, you can always create filters, just like the spam can go in a certain filter, you can have different filters. If you are on different tasks, you can create filters that the important things reach to your main mailbox and the rest of them stay behind till you are able to get to them. So one way to apply the teachings of the Prophet ﷺ is to start by making a to-do list and identify the most important tasks that need to be completed. We can focus on these tasks and eliminate any distraction that may hinder our progress. Again, I'm going to give you 30 seconds. At least you can write that one main task you have, one main thing that you really wanted to focus on, that was really your focus. It could be a short-term thing or it could be a long-term thing, but I need you to write it so that you can see it in writing. So this may include, like on your phones, even right now, if you're listening, you can always put your phone on an airplane mode. It means that you've turned off the notifications on your phone, closing unnecessary tabs on your computer, and limiting, access to other things during your work hours. As simple as closing the door, the room, as simple as closing the door in the room that you're sitting, so that you are fully focused on what matters. Another way is to delegate tasks that do not require your direct attention. This can free up your time and energy to focus on more important tasks that align with your goals and values. So it is important to set boundaries and manage your time effectively. When you say Allahu Akbar in Salah and you start the Salah, that creates a boundary that this is now your time with your Rabb. Nobody is there to, nobody can disturb you at that time. So set up specific work hours, even if you're a stay-at-home mom, and after all the things that you do at home, you might find some time for your spiritual enrichment, for something that you want to do in your life. Maybe you're writing a book, maybe you're writing a blog, maybe you're working on a product. So schedule breaks throughout the day and avoid overcommitting, to projects or tasks that do not align with your values and goals. So at a certain point in time, you have to put that red circle around the focus and say no to other things, because you already have your plate full. Now, what is number 2 is to have clarity. Set clear goals. It's very important. So ask yourself, how can I focus if I don't even have a goal? How can you shoot the arrow to, to the target if you don't know where the target is? So setting clear goals is very essential, both in personal and professional life, to determine what is essential and what is not. So set specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. These are known as SMART, SMART goals. It can help you prioritize your actions and avoiding wasting times and resources that do not contribute, productively. There are many goal setting frameworks, and one of them is to set clear goals, which are collaborative, limited, emotional, appreciable, and refinable. Like even if you set the goals, you have to adapt to change or new information. So there's teamwork involved in this, you have manageable scope and duration, and you're connected to motivation and engagement. So these are smaller achievable tasks. So for example, at Rising Stars, for our young students all the way from 0 years to high school and beyond, we have like a whole year planner in which we work progressively. There is whole team that works dedicatedly to sit and see what is the progression. So we have like, in our high school, we have a 4-year immersive Quran program coming up, which is with the name of the Zephyr. It's connect to the Creator series. So there's a whole progression to it. So when you set clear goals, then it's achievable. You have a certain target. We want to reach to this level of grammar. We don't want to have just halakas in which we just eat and drink. That's not our goal. Our goal is not just, just have a good time and the kids are happy coming and the kids are happy leaving. And if you ask them the word by word meaning of Surah Al-Nas, they don't even know a word of it. They stand and keep saying Surah Al-Fatiha and they don't even know what it means to say Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. That's not our goal. So when your goal is clear, then your efforts will be more focused and more channelized. So this is an example of how you can set clear goals in which there is progression, there is achievement, and then there's adaptability. Like based on the need, you adapt things, right? So based on the needs, you see what is the need of the hour. Like, oh, okay, you know what, when you set a planner, when it's the Halloween time coming, there are so many students who are exposed to that kind of content. So we need to prioritize, the information regarding that. When it's December time and it's like Christmas all around, how do we help our students to be confident, productive, and successful rising stars as they walk through, public corridors and things like that? So that is something so important. With that focus, let's move to number 3. And before that, there is similar programming available for rising moms, where we convene every month to discuss, to share, like what are the issues we are facing, what's going on. Even in this conference that we just concluded, we see so much of a youth going through a tremendous amount of a Muslim identity crisis. So how can we help? So at the end, it's all about what is the goal. So the goal for the conference was to empower Muslim communities with faith and talent. Right? Subhanallah. And throughout the conference, throughout hearing the different speakers that were there, it was so amazing that I was seeing that from the turnout point of view, there was a very low audience attendance, but the speakers were walking in with a clear goal, and I saw that they delivered without any hesitation, without any reduction of the quality. Why? Because their goal was clear, that they're doing this for the sake of Allah. Their voice is going to be heard. Their task is to make the sound like Ibrahim alayhi salam, and it's Allah's work that how people will respond by saying labbaik. So they provided full scope of services there. The other thing that I took away as a rising mom was we cannot take Islam in bits and pieces. Yes, some of these sessions are helpful for us to know here and there, okay, about a certain topic. But we have to equip ourselves and our children with the Quranic knowledge from cover to cover. At least one time in our life, cover to cover, so that when the Ramadan comes and we are doing a door, it truly refuels our energy and things like that. So it's really, really essential to set those clear goals. Number 3, have a schedule. What does that mean? It means that create a schedule and stick to it. So creating a daily or weekly schedule can help us plan our activities and prioritize our time. We can allocate our time for essential tasks and activities such as work, family, self-care, spiritual growth, and eliminate time-wasting activities that do not align with our goals, right? So they do not align with the goals, you eliminate them. So for example, you can have a planner that, oh, okay, you know what? I'm going to do a 30-minute walk every day. Now, sometimes things change. Like, for example, this Friday, I had my son's surgery for his cochlear implant, and I was not able to get on my walking pad for walking. So, when he was taken in, we went, we did what we needed to do, and when he was taken in for his operation, like for his surgery, I could have just sat down there and let the negative energies sink me down, or I chose that this is Friday, I still have to recite my Suratul Kahf, Alhamdulillah, that I invested my time in memorizing, and I needed to go get my blood work done for certain things that I am getting checked for. So why not I walk from there to a nearby diagnostic facility? That turned out to be around 15 minutes of walking time, like to that facility. So going there and coming back would make up to 30 minutes of that treadmill time as well. So even though my husband offered that, let me drive you there, I said, you know what, it's gonna be beneficial for me, so let me just do that. Why? Because it was on my goal that I have to put that 30 minutes of walking in place. Subhanallah. So I'm sure you can share certain of such things and how you incorporate the goals. I'm going to take a minute for you to share, and I'm going to request, since we have this Zoom that is going to log us out, so I would request if everybody can just quickly log back in and we can start back from here onwards, inshallah. Okay. Number 4, which is very important, is to review. So taking some time, like even on your schedule, taking some times to have a regular review and reflect on our actions. It is really essential to see the behaviors and reflect on their alignment with our values and goals. So we can ask ourselves these questions such as, did I do this activity, what was on my schedule, what I had scheduled for? And is this activity contributing to my personal or professional growth? Does it align with my values and aspirations? And how can I use my time and resources more effectively? So it never hurts, it never hurts. So to just take a look back, as I requested earlier also, that take some time to look at your, if it's difficult to create a schedule for tomorrow, you can always look back at yesterday. But look back at yesterday like a rear view mirror, just enough to set your direction, but not like, over. So why? Because we need to continuously seek knowledge. So that is something so important that we always remember, that we have to review, because we have to seek knowledge, and learning helps us stay focused. And we have to seek knowledge and learning opportunities. Learning new skills and knowledge can help us grow both personally and professionally. We can seek learning opportunities by attending workshops, seminars, online courses, reading books, or listening to podcasts. So that can help us develop our skills. It can help us broaden our perspective and achieve our goals. And there's a lot of amazing content out there, which what you are trying to achieve. When you have identified your goal, then there is so much out there that helps you to achieve, to attain that. So for example, there are easy ways to increase your memory and focus. So one of the things, as we discussed, was to get moving, exercise your brain and body. So moving not only helps you be physically fit, but it also does wonders for your brain. Almost 50% of your veins are in your legs, so keep them moving. So take a walk. Even right now, if you're listening, you can just stand up and you can start walking, and you can do your squats, or you can listen, so you can do certain things. So you have to eat smart, so fuel your brain. Sleep is an important thing for us to have a recharge time. You won't be able to focus on your task the next day if you did not have a restful sleep the previous night. So if there are reasons for this restlessness, we have to look at them, try to see what's going on, and try best, to make the most of it. So instead of again, giving yourself some negativity, oh, this is never going to change, I'm never going to be able to be focused, you break it down, you manage your time, and you focus, you play mind games to give yourself an attention, and you try to see where is the problem and how can I fix it. So those words, let's pay attention to this one problem, right? So if you're not having a good night's sleep, paying attention to this one problem, that why you're not having a good night's sleep, what is the reason? If it's because the baby is co-sleeping, it's because there's some medical condition going on, is it because it's too hot, it's too cold, what is something that you can do to fix it? How can you start sleeping early, starting sleeping right after Isha? How can you work your way that things are, moved up in your schedule, all your family and dinner and commitments are moved early, so by the time it's Isha you are fully done, so that you're up in the early hours. So all this needs your focus, and this will help increase your focus. So inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to practice mindfulness so that we are present fully and we are able to fully focus and make the most of our time, inshallah. So with that, I want you to remind you to stop your distractions and feed your focus. One of the best way to feed your focus is salatu ala waqtiha. So if you start with putting 5-time prayers on your daily list, that yes, and as a sister very well said, you're putting your morning and evening azkar there, that's going to give you so much energy to stop your distractions. Then you start adding things like, for example, the Prophet ﷺ used to start his day with Surah Al Imran, verse 190 to 200. And it's beautiful words in there. Just if you elaborate on those words, that la yaghurrannaka taqallubul lazina fi kafaru fil bilad, it should not distract you what the disbelievers are doing in the area, because it's mata'un qalilun, it's just like enjoyment for a little while, and that's it. So we need to have, our focus on what is my goal, what is that something that I am looking forward to getting. And if your focus is there, then don't be scared, just be prepared. So if your focus in Jannah, then at least 3 times a day, you'll be asking for Jannah in your day. Right? You will not be just raising your hands for material possessions and things. You will also be looking at the things which are coming later. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina azaban nar. So do your best and leave the rest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just like Hajar alayhi salam. She didn't focus on the problem, but she ran between the two mountains looking for a solution. And that's what a focused person will do. Like Yunus alayhi salam in the belly of the whale. He's not going to start banging his head against the wall, but he focused at where was the problem. And the focus was connecting back to the Creator, repenting to Him. La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu minas zalimin. Like the ones stuck behind the stone in the cave, they started reminding themselves of their good deeds and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make a way out for them. Now, Tony Robbins is a very famous motivational speaker and a coach. He says energy flows where your attention goes. So where is your attention right now? What is your focal point at this time? Right? So alhaakumut takasur, the abundance of this world distracted you. So Prophet ﷺ told us about the time when people will be inviting each other to attack the Muslims, just like a meal served on a table. The people asked, would there be less Muslims at that time? There would be less believers? He said, no, you will be there in abundance. But what will happen? The love of this dunya will take over, and karahiyatul maut, you will detest death. But think about, if our focus is to meet a Creator, then you will be looking at living your life in a very different way. You will remember the reminder from the Prophet ﷺ, and you will not abandon these words after every salah, like he told to Mu'adh ibn Jabal radiallahu anhu, that Allahumma a'inni ala dhikrika wa shukrika wa husni ibadatik. So anything and everything that you'll be doing, you will be mindful that Allah is with you, and you will look forward to learning, rising and shining to help yourself and to help the ummah at large. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us all to be there for each other. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to be those people who are fully focused. When somebody is there, you are able to pay full attention. Even in our 30th juz, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala captured when, a person came to meet Rasulullah and he said, he was busy with some other consultation. So he frowned. That was even preserved in our Quran, Abasa wa Tawalla. And ja'ahul ama. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us from today. Let us consciously make a decision that I am going to fully make the most from every moment that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed me with. And if there is something that you're on and some distraction come in the way, you can politely use these words to remind somebody that, you know what, I have something to do right now, but right after this, I will be with you. I will be with you in a second. So it has to be done in a very respectful way. Not like, typically that somebody is speaking and you're not listening and not paying attention. So even if it's a little child comes to you, please turn your whole body. Come down to the floor, to their level. Sit down to give them a big hug and give them embrace. If it's your spouse, take some time to fully focus and see what's going on. If somebody needs, a listening ear, be there to listen, inshallah. And sometimes you just have to schedule that time so that you're fully focused. It's very disrespectful. You can tell them, it's just, I don't want to disrespect your feelings by talking about this because right now there's not enough time. So maybe let's sit down so that we can fully embrace what the challenge is, and then we can find a solution, inshallah. So with that, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to focus fully and be rising star. Remember to do your best and leave the rest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us all to be our very best. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to dream it, dua it, and do it. Jazakumullahu khairan kaseera. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Wal asr innal insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihati wa tawasaw bil haqqi wa tawasaw bis sabr. By time, mankind is in loss except for those who believed, who did the righteous deeds, who reminded each other of truth, and who reminded each other of patience. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, Sister Javedia. Jazakallah.